The world of pocket change is far more thrilling than most people ever imagine. Hidden among everyday coins are small metallic time capsules, objects that carry decades of history, artistry, and sometimes astonishing value. A single quarter can travel from a cash register to a collector's vault and suddenly be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Today, we're diving deep into two fascinating coins from the long-running Washington Quarter series. Coins that millions of people have handled, yet only a few truly understand. The year 1996 sits at an interesting moment in American coinage history, right before the dramatic transformation that would come with the state quarters program. But within that ordinary year, subtle differences in mint marks, strike quality, and rare errors have created coins that collectors watch closely. Some examples are still worth face value, while others have quietly climbed to impressive prices in the numismatic market. So get ready, because we're about to explore two quarters that reveal how ordinary change can become extraordinary treasure. The 1996 Washington Quarter Dollar Coin. The Washington Quarter is one of the most recognizable coins in United States history, and by the time 1996 arrived, the design had already been circulating for more than 6 decades. The coin first debuted in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. What began as a one-year commemorative issue quickly transformed into a permanent design that replaced the standing Liberty Quarter. By 1996, Americans had been using the Washington Quarter for generations, making it a familiar and trusted part of daily commerce. The 1996 Washington Quarter was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the primary coin-producing facilities in the United States. The small D mint mark appears on the obverse of the coin, positioned just to the right of George Washington's ponytail ribbon. While this mint mark may appear subtle, it plays a crucial role in determining a coin's origin and, sometimes, its value. The obverse of the coin features the enduring portrait of George Washington, created by sculptor John Flanagan. This design is based on a bust of Washington originally sculpted by French artist Jean-Antoine Houdon in the late 18th century. Washington's profile faces left, with the word Liberty arching across the top rim of the coin. Below the portrait appears the date, 1996, and the phrase "I in God we trust" is positioned to the left of Washington's neck. Although the design remained largely unchanged for decades, collectors pay close attention to small details within the portrait. The sharpness of Washington's hair curls, the clarity of the lettering, and the strength of the strike all influence the coin's condition and value. Coins struck with exceptional detail are particularly attractive to collectors who pursue high-grade examples. The reverse of the 1996 Washington Quarter carries another classic design by John Flanagan. At the center stands a powerful heraldic eagle with wings spread wide. The eagle clutches a bundle of arrows in its talons, symbolizing strength and readiness to defend the nation. Beneath the eagle rests a pair of olive branches, representing peace. Above the eagle is the inscription United States of America, while the denomination quarter dollar curves along the bottom rim. Between these inscriptions appears the national motto, E Pluribus Unum. This reverse design had been in use since the beginning of the Washington Quarter series and remained unchanged until 1998, just before the introduction of the state quarters program in 1999. Because of that timing, the 1996 issues are part of the final stretch of the classic Washington Quarter design before the major transformation that would redefine the series for modern collectors. In terms of production numbers, the Denver Mint struck approximately 906,868,000 Washington quarters in 1996. This extremely high mintage reflects the heavy demand for circulating coinage during the mid-1990s. With nearly 1 billion coins produced, the vast majority of 1996 quarters entered circulation immediately and were used in everyday transactions. Because of that enormous mintage, most circulated examples of the 1996 quarter remain worth only their face value of 25 cents. However, the story becomes far more interesting when collectors begin examining coins in higher grades. In the world of coin collecting, condition is everything. A coin that spent decades in circulation will show wear on Washington's hair, flattening on the eagle's feathers, and small scratches from contact with other coins. But occasionally, a coin escapes circulation entirely. These coins, known as mint state examples, retain their original luster and sharp details. For the 1996 quarter, coins graded MS-65 or higher can command notable premiums among collectors. At the MS-65 level, the coin typically sells for a modest amount, often between $5 and $15 depending on market demand. But as the grade increases, prices rise dramatically. An MS-67 example of the 1996 D quarter can bring several $100s at auction. The reason lies in the difficulty of finding coins with such exceptional preservation. Even though hundreds of millions were struck, very few survived without bag marks, scratches, or dull luster. At the very top of the grading scale, coins graded MS-68 are extremely rare. In some auction records, such examples have sold for well over $1,000. These coins represent the absolute finest survivors of the mintage, and collectors competing to assemble high-grade registry sets often drive the prices upward. Beyond condition, another factor that can significantly increase the value of a 1996 D Washington quarter is the presence of mint errors. Coin errors occur when something unusual happens during the minting process, resulting in coins that deviate from the standard design. One notable error associated with Washington quarters is the off-center strike. In this error, the coin blank is not properly aligned during striking, causing part of the design to be missing. Off-center 1996 D quarters have been discovered with varying degrees of misalignment. Depending on how dramatic the error appears and whether the date remains visible, these coins can sell for anywhere from $50 to several $100s. Another fascinating error type involves double strikes. This occurs when a coin receives more than one strike from the dies without being properly ejected from the press. The resulting coin may display overlapping images or distorted designs. While such errors are rare for the 1996 D quarter, examples that appear in the market can attract significant collector interest. Die cracks and die chips are also common varieties collectors watch for. Over time, the intense pressure used to strike coins causes the dies themselves to wear or crack. When that happens, raised lines or blobs may appear on the coins produced afterward. These features can create minor varieties that collectors enjoy cataloging. A particularly appealing category for collectors is the die break, sometimes called a cud. In these cases, a piece of the die breaks away entirely, leaving a raised, unstruck area on the coin. Such dramatic errors can transform an ordinary quarter into a sought-after collectible. Another aspect that influences collector interest in the 1996 D Washington quarter is its place within the broader timeline of the series. The mid-1990s represent the closing chapter of the original Washington quarter design. Just a few years later, in 1999, the United States Mint would introduce the State Quarters program, completely changing the reverse design and sparking one of the largest coin collecting movements in modern history. Because of that historical transition, many collectors view the 1996 issues as part of the final traditional run of Washington quarters. This gives the coin subtle historical significance, especially for collectors building complete date and mint mark sets that span the entire series. Another interesting factor involves original mint sets. The United States Mint produced official 1996 mint sets containing uncirculated examples of coins from both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. Some collectors seek out these sets to find pristine examples of the 1996 D quarter with strong luster and minimal contact marks. When removed carefully from original packaging and submitted to grading services, these coins occasionally achieve the highest grades known for the issue. That possibility keeps collectors searching through old mint sets even decades later. Market trends also play a role in determining the value of the 1996 D Washington quarter. As more collectors participate in registry set competitions through major grading services, demand for top-graded examples continues to increase. When only a handful of coins exist at the highest grade, competition among collectors can push auction prices dramatically higher. While the average 1996 D quarter may still circulate unnoticed in pocket change, the finest examples tell a very different story. These coins represent the intersection of mass production and numismatic rarity, a reminder that even the most common coins can hold hidden value when preserved in exceptional condition. The 1996 P Washington quarter dollar coin. The 1996 P Washington quarter represents the companion issue to the Denver minted coin, and it was produced at the historic Philadelphia Mint, the oldest minting facility in the United States. Philadelphia has played a central role in American coinage since 1792, and by the 1990s it remained one of the nation's most important coin production centers. Unlike earlier decades when Philadelphia coins carried no mint mark, by 1996 the Mint had adopted the use of the P mint mark. On the Washington quarter, this small letter appears on the obverse of the coin, positioned just to the right of Washington's ponytail ribbon. Though tiny, this mark allows collectors to distinguish the coin's origin instantly. The design of the 1996 P. Washington quarter follows the same classic layout seen across the entire series. On the obverse, John Flanagan portrait of George Washington remains the centerpiece. Washington's dignified profile faces left, embodying the image of leadership and stability that the United States sought to portray when the design first appeared in 1932. Above the portrait, the word Liberty stretches along the upper rim of the coin. The date 1996 appears at the bottom, while I in God We Trust sits to the left of Washington's neck. The P mint mark is tucked neatly beside the ribbon in Washington's hair, marking the coin as a Philadelphia product. Collectors often study the strike quality of Philadelphia quarters closely because differences in production conditions can influence the sharpness of the final coin. Some examples show softer details in Washington's hair or weaker definition in the lettering. Others display remarkably crisp strikes with brilliant luster. Turning to the reverse, the same iconic eagle design dominates the center of the coin. The eagle's wings stretch outward in a display of strength, while the arrows and olive branches symbolize both military readiness and a commitment to peace. Surrounding the design are the inscriptions United States of America and quarter dollar, with the motto E Pluribus Unum appearing above the eagle. In 1996, the Philadelphia Mint produced an enormous quantity of Washington quarters. The total mintage reached approximately 925,040,000 coins. This staggering number ensured that the 1996 P quarter would become a common sight in cash registers, vending machines, and pockets across the country. Because of that large mintage, circulated examples of the 1996 P quarter remain extremely common today. Most show signs of wear from years of handling, including smoothing on Washington's hair and light abrasions across the fields of the coin. These pieces typically hold no premium above their face value. However, the situation changes dramatically when collectors begin searching for high-grade examples. Coins that were set aside immediately after minting, never entering circulation, can still retain their original mint luster and sharp design details. Mint state examples graded MS-65 often sell for several dollars, but the value climbs quickly as the grade improves. Coins graded MS-67 or higher become much more difficult to locate, and collectors seeking perfect or near-perfect examples often compete aggressively for them. At the uppermost levels of preservation, an MS-68 example of the 1996 P. Washington quarter is considered exceptionally rare. These coins display flawless surfaces, full luster, and crisp design elements with virtually no visible imperfections. When such a coin appears at auction, it can command prices ranging from several $100s to well over $1,000 depending on collector demand. Mint errors also add excitement to the 1996 P quarter. Off-center strikes are among the most visually dramatic errors collectors encounter. In these cases, the coin blank shifts during striking, leaving part of the design missing while exposing a blank crescent of metal. When the date remains visible and the misalignment is dramatic, these coins can sell for impressive premiums. Another fascinating error is the double die variety. This occurs when the coin's die receives a misaligned impression during its creation, resulting in doubled features on the coins it strikes. While major double die varieties for the 1996 P quarter are not widely known, collectors continue to examine coins carefully in hopes of discovering new varieties. Clipped planchet errors also appear occasionally. In these cases, a portion of the metal blank is missing before the coin is struck, creating a curved or straight indentation along the edge of the coin. These unusual shapes attract collector interest and often sell for far more than ordinary examples. Die cracks, cuds, and other die-related anomalies are also part of the landscape for 1996 P quarters. These imperfections occur as the minting dies experience stress and wear over time. Although minor die cracks may only add modest value, larger and more dramatic breaks can create collectible varieties. Another aspect that draws collectors to the 1996 P. Washington quarter is its role in the transition period just before the state quarters era. In 1999, the United States Mint launched a groundbreaking program featuring unique reverse designs for each of the 50 states. That program reinvigorated coin collecting across the country and introduced millions of new collectors to the hobby. Because of this historical shift, the 1996 P quarter represents part of the final chapter of the traditional Washington quarter design that had dominated American coinage for decades. Collectors assembling complete series often view these late 1990s coins as important pieces of that long narrative. Original 1996 mint sets produced by the United States Mint also play an important role in the collector market. These sets included uncirculated coins from both Philadelphia and Denver, preserved in protective packaging. Many collectors today search through these sets hoping to find pristine examples suitable for high-grade submissions to professional grading services. The excitement of discovering a near-perfect coin from such sets keeps the hunt alive even decades after the coins were originally issued. Each pristine example represents a small time capsule from 1996, preserved exactly as it left the mint. For most people, the 1996 P. Washington quarter will always remain a simple piece of pocket change. But to collectors and numismatists, it represents something far more fascinating. A mass-produced coin that still holds the potential for rarity, value, and discovery. And that is the magic of coin collecting. Even a humble quarter can carry layers of history, craftsmanship, and hidden potential waiting to be uncovered by those willing to look a little closer.